Hello, good morning. Welcome to the show with Bridget Knight from South Africa and Julia Schmitz from Travel Insight in Germany. And we are talking today about the topic, how to hear and also recognize your inner voice. Because we are somehow in a world, everything is very, very quick in your surroundings. You have to take action in every second. How do you hear your inner voice, what you really want?
What I think it is I think you get, so Oprah talks about this. It's like you get these little taps, like when I was meant to leave the fitness industry, and I was probably meant to leave 5 years before I did. And you would get these little taps, like you would get less clients, your business wasn't growing, there would be little signs, whatever they were, there was these little signs, and they start getting louder. And those signs get louder and louder and louder. And then eventually you go, oh, this is not working. So maybe if you're working for somebody, you get fired, maybe you get retrenched. Something massive happens, which for me is when you get that knock over the head, because you're not listening to the little tap, tap, tap. You get the big knock on the head. Then you go, oh, maybe it's time to make a change. So for me, that's what that inner voice is. It's like, it's there, but you're so scared. You're so scared.
Yeah, and it's as sometimes I feel as well, it's such a pity that we don't hear it for a long time because it's so friendly, but so silent. And then the head thinks, okay, nee, that's the way what I wanted to do, or that's secure, or that's confirmed to society, or whatever. And then you just go over and over and over until there are signs from your body, signs from your soul, or whatever, what brings you to a burnout or whatever. It doesn't have to be that bad, but still there is this inner voice. And do you have like an exercise or something how to recognize it?
So for me, I don't know if it's about that, but I think, like we were saying before we started, I think it's around having time alone, meditation, in a moment of however you choose to do it, but it's when you're still. When you are still and when you are on your own is when you get the greatest clarity on what's working, what's not. I think in the busyness and the noise, it's impossible because we just work in overdrive.
Yeah, and for me, it was also because like 5 years ago, I started to find my way because I hear this inner voice that something is not working anymore, but I didn't hear what it wants. My heart, my soul, whatever it is. Yeah. So, and I was like searching, doing all the time, being active all the time, doing a seminar, doing coachings, doing that. And I was close. I was in a burnout, even if I heard it, but I didn't know how to find it. And then somebody said to me, if you want to have change, you need to do something different in a way. If you just go on with what you did before and you are waiting that change is falling from the sky, won't work. Yeah.
No.
And there I got an exercise. For me, it was somehow game changing, but it took a long time because I was already so deep in this running, that you really take, like, once a day would be great, but even if you have a lot of things to do, perhaps twice a week, or something, that you find in your agenda, like 1 hour for yourself. Your creative time, your me time, your breakout time, whatever, how you call it. But there you really just take a magazine, what you like to read, or a podcast, what you love, or go to your favorite cafe and just be with yourself and integrate this. And as well, things what you really love to do. If you have something like a hobby or like, I don't know, a certain author or something, and if you continue with that, but continuously, then it changes somehow because you take time for yourself. You're not in the survival mode anymore, because in the survival mode, you can't be creative. You can't listen to yourself.
No, and I think the hardest part is making that change, because it's never, well, that's been my experience, it's never been easy. So that change has always been massively inconvenient, uncomfortable. There's been an element of pain with it. So the reward afterwards has been great, but I can't tell you when that would happen, if it's going to be a week, a year, a month, 6 months, and I can't even tell you how great that reward would be. So, it's going to get better. There's not, if you take a big stand to live a better life, whatever that means for you, it will get better. But when and all the details, who knows? That's the hard part. That's a very hard part.
Yeah, and somebody told me as well, like the soul doesn't know room and space. So if you want to have the change tomorrow, but I don't know, you exhausted yourself for more than 10 years, 5 years, it won't make that change tomorrow. It's even harder. It takes a longer time. Yeah, because it's like, I saw once like a graphic, whatever thing, where you saw like our soul or our body as well needs, after, I don't know, so many hours of stress, it needs like as well, not the same amount, but it needs an amount of time to get down to the basic whatever line. Yeah. And if you always do like this, and then there's the next stress and the next stress, this thing between the basic and what your body can bear is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's getting people to the burnout. So if you don't take the time, it's the same when you train for sports. Yeah. If you give the next action to someone who is not so much trained and the relaxation is not enough, then it will be an overtraining, or I don't know how you call this in English, but
yeah, you need to have that. You need to have that downtime, and you need to have that the recovery time in order to. Like today, I went for a run. I was doing interval running training, and I haven't done that for ages. But because I haven't done it for a while, but I'm consistently active and I maintain a level of fitness, it was great. It was, whereas if I did that every single day, I don't think I would have had the energy that I had this morning, So I think, and I think it's very important to take that time, to have some time for yourself, to get some clarity.
Yeah, and so many people say as well, like, big innovations or so happened in a time of downtime. Like now, after the Corona time, there will be lots of innovations or new ideas in each life, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
As if you allow it, no? But I think because of this very big breakdown, what we never had in our life so far, people must be creative, but they needed. Yeah, the shutdown is also for so many people, I guess, a big, big reward to recover a bit, to rethink their working surroundings.
Yeah. So for people who are wanting to discover that, then when we have our course is done, we just are now putting the finer details together, but it is completed. So for people who are interested in exactly this, is listening to that inner voice and actually exploring their purpose, then maybe you'd be interested in finding out more about the course.
Yeah, right. And then again, call us. We have these. We put the link under it again to find a call, like an inspiration call for 30 minutes with us, with one of us, and then we see how we can help you. And find your purpose together. And as well, perhaps just as a final thought for each one, what does somebody who is hiking in the mountains and there's a big fog coming up, what is he doing? Do you know it?
So when you are hiking up the mountain and there's a big fog coming up, your question
is, you don't know where to go. You don't know where to go. What do you do in this time? Because you're alone, nobody's there to help.
So if it was me, chances are I would attempt to try and find, because I've been in that situation before, because I used to do a lot of trail running. I would attempt to make my way through the fog. And in saying that, I've had moments where I've been on the mountain and I've suddenly gone, oh, wow, okay, I didn't realize that was a ledge, or because it literally is like that. So I suppose I don't know. What would you do?
Yeah, I got this image once when I didn't feel well, and they said, just sit down and wait until the fog is clearing up. And that's your inner time. That's your creative time. And we will, stop the conversation with that today and wish you a wonderful weekend to all of you. See you next week.